I've talked to Malia's mom, Brittany, for countless hours on telephone and in person, spending a lot of time with her one-on-one. And from talking with her and asking her serious questions over and over, I would get some answers, but then answers begin to change. Then I began to ask her a question about, do you know where Malia is? Did Darian tell you? There started to be serious hesitation in answering that question. And then she would say, well, I think I need to get a lawyer. And I said to her, there is no need for you to get a lawyer, a criminal lawyer, if you don't have anything to hide, if you've done no wrong. I said, your daughter's missing. You want to exhaust every avenue to try to find her. Why would you need a criminal lawyer?
And what'd she say?
She really didn't respond to that. She just said, well, I think I may need to get a lawyer. And that's pretty much exactly what she went to do. And then I explained to her that I would always be by her side until she began to lie to me. And when I explained to her that I found out some serious information about abuse in the home, she first denied it. And then I gave her greater details of what I knew, because a source in her family had shared some information with me in confidence. Then she admitted, Brittany admitted, that yes, Malia was being physically abused by the stepfather, and that on more than one occasion she did help cover it up. At one point she felt Malia needed to go to the emergency room because he had whipped her so bad with a belt. And yet he talked her out of it, saying, I'm not going to take the fall for this. And this happened on more than one occasion. I asked Brittany, I said, did he whoop her when she was sick? Also, she was a sickly child. And she said yes.
Did you ask her why she would have ever left this little girl alone with Darian?
I did ask her that. I asked her when I learned that he and her had an argument when she was on the way to the airport and at the airport to go to her father's funeral service in Massachusetts. I asked her, I said, we've learned that you and him were fighting about him sending inappropriate text messages and pictures to another man. And then she said, yes, I have the pictures. And he said, she showed them to me. I said, ma'am, these are graphic photos. How can you leave your daughter with a man knowing he's sending photos like this? He's physically abused your daughter on more than one occasion and asked you to cover it up. You've now found out that he was bathing her. Also, a little girl that's not even his, bathing her. Why would you leave your child with him? And she just said she didn't know.
Do you believe that the grounds of that argument could have led to whatever happened to Malia? What you're saying, that he basically was exchanging photographs, which we have no way of confirming, but she apparently told you this, that there was an argument about these photographs, that could have led to.
I saw the photographs. I spoke to his brother about the photographs. So I saw the phone numbers. They were actual photographs he was sending to another man. And I 1,000% believe wholeheartedly that when Brittany confronted him about it, going to the airport and leaving him at the airport, she refused to respond to any of his text messages. And about an hour later, he was texting her saying, it's an emergency, it's an emergency, it's an emergency, please call me back. I think he snapped when she said she was not going to marry him, and exposing him as possibly being gay, that he physically snapped on a child that he had done this to before.
I want to reiterate, Brittany Bowens has not been charged with anything. We cannot confirm, Cornell, what you are telling us, but it is the first we're hearing about this. What do you believe happened to Malia? Where do you think she is?
I believe that he snapped because of the argument that him and Brittany got into when she was headed to the airport. And I think the impact of her challenging him about being gay and finding that information out, that he physically abused Malia again because she was there, and he had secretly brought her back home. I believe he snapped on Malia, and I believe that he took her body and put it somewhere, and none of us knows exactly where that is.
Was Brittany different with you than she was in front of the cameras?
What was weird about Brittany, this is what was weird. And I want you to go back and research every ounce of footage that you can find in this case. She never once, not once, said one bad thing or one bad word about the stepfather, Daniel Vance. Not even when police charged him with tampering with a corpse, meaning her daughter's body. Not one angered word, one emotional word, one bad word, not one. And that's one thing I never understood.
Did you ask her about
This man won't return your phone calls. He won't respond to your text messages. He won't even meet with you. And now he's been charged with tampering with a body, meaning your daughter, your own child, and you have nothing angered in you to say at all, publicly or privately?
Did you ask her that?
Absolutely, I did.
And what'd she say?
She just kind of shook her head, said she didn't know why. It was always, I don't know why. I don't know why. Why'd you leave your child with this man when you knew these things? I don't know why. Why are the things I'm getting out of you now and that we have found out and that you're confessing to us about this abuse? Why don't you tell investigators this? That would have been helpful for them in their investigation. I don't know why. I don't know why. It was always, I don't know why.
Once again, I say she has not been charged with any crime, but have you notified authorities about what you know?
I did after my last meeting with Brittany. And what she said to me that was so compelling that pretty much backed up some of what we had already discovered in this investigation. From a community perspective, it solidified what we kind of already thought happened. And that came from a last conversation I had with her. After that, I immediately went to the district attorney's office and met with him and told them everything that I knew.
How did they respond?
It was a productive meeting.
Are they going to look into these things?
I can't speak for the DA's office. I think they have to speak for themselves. But I find it absolutely impossible that they are not looking into it.
Was Brittany being questioned in the disappearance of her daughter? Did police pose any questions that led you to believe that they may have similar questions surrounding what she knew and when?
Based on what she told me, investigators asked her, because on the second visit, I instructed her to go down. I spoke with investigators, said she needs to share some things with you that she has not shared with you. And when she came back from that meeting with them, based on the line of questioning that they gave her, they are doubting her story also.
Where do you think investigators are with finding out where Malia is?
I think a lot of it is dealing with blood testing from inside the home. But I think that we're all everybody's doing everything we possibly can. People have come into the city from all over the world to help volunteer and look for Malia. Everybody's looking. Everybody's following all kinds of leads. And I think they're doing the same thing. They're just following whatever lead they get, trying to find out where's Malia.
Quanell X, we really appreciate your time. Please keep in touch with us. Keep us apprised to more developments, because this is new information that we're learning directly from you with direct knowledge of Brittany Bowens. We appreciate your time. I'm going to bring in HLN legal analyst Joey Jackson. Joey, you sat there. You hear that? Reaction.
I have to tell you, Lynn, what a riveting interview we just witnessed right now, with the addition of information concerning a motivation, concerning potential sexual orientation and how that played into it, concerning the unclean hands of the mom and what she may know that she's not divulging, concerning what he believes that is Quanell X, the activist that has been assisting the family in terms of what happened. And I mean, you really ferreted out additional information that was not now known. Obviously, the big unknown is where's that beautiful girl that we're looking at there, and we obviously hold out hopes that she's alive, that she's well. Certainly the evidence is seeming to speak otherwise, but boy, I mean, in terms of learning that he may have snapped, and as a result of that, and then even learning in terms of why there may be waiting here, and that is waiting for forensic analysis in terms of the blood in that home and matching it to her, and really determining whether or not what we believe is true actually is.
And Joey, I say again, Brittany Bowens has not been charged with a crime in Malia's disappearance, but based on what you just heard there and what investigators have been informed, we learned, do you think that she might? The fact that she knowingly left her daughter with this man?
You know, I think all options are on the table, and I think that certainly as adults we cannot, what we call in law, recklessly endanger the life of another. That is, put a child in jeopardy when we know the past history of the person with whom we're leaving the child, when we know the inclinations of the person with whom we're leaving the child, where we know the proclivities and really what the person is all about that we're leaving a child to. And not only that, that speaks to one set of charges that she could face, but what I'm more curious about is what her knowledge is. Really, does she know more than she's letting on? And it appears to be, again, we're just drawing inferences here. You know, I don't want to make any aspersions, cast any aspersions, or make any presumptions, but boy, the information that Quantel X has just told you, and we have every reason to believe that he's credible, that his heart is in the right place, he has assisted and worked with his family, and I think what's even more, Lynn, is that he went to the prosecution after this and said, look, I'm going to tell you all I know. I would not be surprised in the event that she was charged, and I would not at all be surprised in the event that the current charges against the stepfather are upgraded.
Huge development here. We've just learned right here on The Story. Joey Jackson, as always, great to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lynn.